This call will be around 25 to 30 minutes long. I'll go through a bit about my story, what Arbonne is, and why it makes so much sense for everyone to have a network marketing business as part of our income portfolios. My name is Maya Queen. I'm proud to have had an Arbonne business, my goodness, for that span in almost 16 years. Wow, honestly, time flies when you're having fun, as they say. But honestly, this has been one of the best career decisions I have ever made. My life pre-Arbonne was very different, looks very different from how it looks today. I was a very stressed out corporate mum who was working as a buyer for a very large retail corporation, company called TK Maxx. My role involved lots of travel with long unsociable hours, and I hardly ever saw my two young children, Emma, who was 4 at the time, and James, who was 2 at that time when I first heard about Arbonne. My husband had been made redundant when my youngest was only 6 months old, so I had no choice but to go back to work. I remember one particularly stressful time. I remember looking up at the office ceiling in exasperation and saying, there must be more to life than this. And it was literally the following week that I had a chance meeting in a coffee shop that I first heard about Arbonne. And it just goes to show it's not who you know today, it's who you're going to meet in the future. And I think that's true of life in general. We're meeting new people all the time, and that's part of life, isn't it? Part of living and part of growing and developing ourselves. But to cut a long story short, thank goodness I was open-minded enough to take a closer look and realize that this could potentially be a way to live in a much more flexibility and without a boss. For me, I saw it very much as a way to exit out of corporate life because I was felt like I was stuck on that corporate hamster wheel, and I wanted more. I wanted more flexibility. I wanted to have choices and not be dictated to when I could take time off. But of course, it's up to you. It's your business, so it's what you want out of this. It's up to you to decide. So it's very, very empowering. And it was this one question that I met from the lovely Sarah that I met in the coffee shop that she'd asked me after a couple of meetings that made me stop and think. It was this one question, and it was, where do I see myself in 5 years if I keep doing what I'm doing? And A, that was quite random because no one had ever asked me that before. And I think when you're stuck on that hamster wheel, you don't look beyond next week because you're so time poor, you're so stressed, you don't look that far ahead. So it's only when I stopped and thought, actually, where do I see myself in 5 years? If I keep doing what I'm doing, I'm always going to get what I've always got. And it was at that moment, really, that's when the penny dropped. And I thought, you know what? Would I be happy about being in exactly the same position? And that's really important for us all to ask that. What are we doing now? And if we keep doing what we're doing, where will we be in 5 years' time? Will we be happy about being in exactly the same position? And if the answer is no, then this might be a solution for you. Because the penny for me was realized if I wanted to have a different future, then I needed to do something different today. I didn't have any spare time, and I really want to stress that. I didn't even have time to watch TV because any spare time I had was taken up with seeing the children. And this just goes to show you don't need to have much time to build an Arbonne business. You just need to have a dream combined with a work ethic. And that's what this is all about. So I'm now going to share my screen, and I'm going to show really go through what Arbonne is, what the Arbonne story is about, and to see if this could be a possibility. So, with Arbonne, it's a 45-year-old company. It started by a Norwegian botanist called Petter Mork, and he was way ahead of his time in terms of it being a health, beauty, and wellness company. He wanted to develop that brand which embraces a synergistic approach to clean living, both inside and out. We got the security of, as I mentioned at the beginning, of a 45-year-old heritage, but it's like a startup company because we are only in 6 countries right now. I'm going to come on to a bit more about the countries later on, but I just Petter Moore, because I mentioned, I love the fact that he wanted ordinary people to have a chance to live an extraordinary life through this incredible opportunity that you're hearing about now. So combining his vision and the ethics of our parent company, Group Rochelle, which is a family-owned French company, I'm proud to say we have a B Corp status since 2020. And B Corp, if you don't know anything about B corporations, I mean, more and more companies are becoming part of the B Corp movement. It's also known as a benefit and purpose-led companies. B Corp ensures transparency and a strict code of conduct, which means we balance people, planet, and profit in equal measure. And I think it's really important us as consumers to decide where we're spending our money because that dictates where the market moves. And this is reflected in our Arbonne aim to not only be the best company in the world, but the best company for the world. And I absolutely love that. So, why wellness? So, hands up, who would like to have more energy, feel more motivated, less stressed, be less anxious, have better sleep, feel more comfortable in our own skin? I hope everyone's got their hands up. Arbonne may have the answer to any of your skin and well-being concerns by using these fabulous products. But through the business model, and this is why I said yes to Arbonne, because I really got the business model. The business model could be the solution to any financial worries you might have because the wellness industry is currently worth around $5.6 trillion. And that is huge. And it's forecast to grow to 8.5 trillion by 2027. And that source is taken from Bloomberg.com. This opportunity is underpinned as well. It's not just about the health and wellness, it's also about it's run from an e-commerce platform. So it's the e-commerce industry which is valued at $6.3 trillion. To say that this opportunity is huge is an understatement. But imagine owning a percentage of that market. And I think that's the real thing that I wanted to really impress upon you, because that's what we have in our hands, owning a percentage of this brand in this marketplace. So it's about clean, results-driven products. Arbonne is a blend of green science and nature. So you get two types of products on the market. You get products that are natural and great for your health, but they don't necessarily fight the wrinkles. And then you get your products that are very heavy chemically laden, that yes, they might fight the wrinkles, but at what cost your health? Because Arbonne is a blend of green science and nature. You get the best of both worlds because you can use the products knowing that they have clean ingredients, but yet very much results driven. And the best bit is you don't have to take my word for it. All products go through independent clinical trials and really have the best endorsements, such as PETA, the People's Ethical Treatment of Animals. That's a really hard endorsement to get because they are so strict and they look into every single supply chain ingredient, every aspect of the ingredients that we use, and they ensure that we have never tested on animals and we've never tested any ingredients on animals either. So I love the ethics behind the brand because Arbonne has been green way before it's trendy to be green. Now a lot of companies are jumping on that whole green bandwagon purely because of profit. Arbonne have been like that since day one. So they've not compromised on their ethics. Their ethics have been like that since day one. And I love that because that does run through the whole core of the company. I also love the fact that all the products are plant-based, as I mentioned, vegan, not tested on animals. There's nothing in the supply chain that has ever been tested on animals, gluten-free, dairy-free, free from artificial colours, flavours, fragrances, sweeteners. We go above and beyond what is legally required. And in fact, we ban over 2,000 questionable toxic ingredients. That's way beyond what's legally required. In America, in the FDA, the Food and Drug Administrators, it's between 15 and 18 ingredients they ban in personal care products. We ban over 2,000. So we go again above and beyond what's legally required. The other great fact about our clean results driven products is that we've got hundreds of products. So there is literally something for everyone, from babies to men to healthy aging skincare, sun care, hair care, and treatment-based makeup. We've got a huge array of nutritional products which cover everything from gut health to mind health to protein shakes to collagen stimulants to stress relief. We've got inner calm and support for sports people. And our number one bestseller is the Ginseng Energy Fizz Sticks. Honestly, if you haven't tried these, then quite frankly, you haven't lived. So whoever asked you to take a look at this, make sure they give you a fizz stick to try because they are amazing. There's also a 90-day, 100% money back guarantee. So this basically is just a totally risk-free way to shop. And the best bit is, from the business perspective, is that all these products are consumable. Another Hands up. Hands up who had a shower today. I hope you all got your hands up now. Who uses these personal care products on a daily basis? We all do, of course. And who's going to for the rest of our lives forever? The best bit is, who else do we know that shops? Sorry, that washes. Obviously, we shop, we wash. Who uses shampoo, shower gel, toothpaste, deodorant, body lotion, makeup, nutrition? We're all using these products. And imagine how many other people you know right now are in the shower. So imagine how many people are using these products all the time. And the best bit is they're consumable, as I said. So once they run out, guess what? You don't think, well, I'm not going to wash anymore. You go and, you go and shop and you replace those products and you're going to continue to do so. And that's why this business model is so genius, because there's a continual and growing demand for these types of products because they are always going to be needed. That's a basic rule of a good business, to have products that people want and work. Now, the concept, and I particularly like this slide. I think it's coming from my buying background and retail background, I know that the whole process along the way, as it goes from the manufacturer, the wholesaler, all these chains, if you like, are taking their chunk of profit. They're taking their margin along the way. Then advertising, most companies spend a third of their turnover in advertising. So that's a huge amount of money before the retailer even takes their margin, before it even gets to the end consumer. So the consumer, when it goes through a traditional retail concept, means that they are paying for the process to get it there. With Arbonne, it's literally flipped on its head because we are cutting out the retail middleman. So hands up, who has ever recommended a book, a film, a restaurant? Yeah, we do it all the time, but we just don't normally get paid for it. And as you can see here on this slide, Arbonne is purely just a smarter way to shop through genuine recommendations and a great way to earn a recurring passive income and future financial security. This is where we fit in. So network marketing is a clean and efficient route to market because, as I mentioned earlier, we're cutting out the retail middleman expenses. And that's why we get in such excellent quality products for such great value pricing, because we aren't paying all the overheads. So that's why the ingredients we use are such top quality. So imagine, I suppose the best way that I understood it as, imagine we're like the marketing department of Arbonne. We get paid to spread the word and we show people how to shop smart rather than paying celebrities. So it's far more ethical, authentic, and fair. And that's what I liked about it as well. We got the best of both worlds. We got the convenience of online combined with personal customer service. We don't hold stock and we get paid not just once, but every single time that person shops. Again, it's fair, it's ethical. People can either save money and become a preferred client, or save and make money by becoming a consultant and simply sharing this concept with others. Either way, all we're doing is creating an online shopping network. That is it. That is literally all we are doing. So how does it work? Okay, so there's me in the middle. I've just started my business, just £50. That's it. I've got my website, I've got my shop open, and that £50 includes a product. Literally, how many pounds does it cost to get a website up and running? It costs hundreds of pounds. It's all included. So as soon as we register, our virtual franchise, also known as our online shop, is open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We are up and running and in business. Now, I've opened that shop, yes, but I also buy my own personal care nutrition products at a discount. Why would I shop anywhere else when I've got my own business? And then I might want to buy some products to share with other people and literally just share this concept with other people. That's all we are doing. So imagine I've shown 4 people how it works. And that's what happens when I share this concept, that they then say, actually, I can open my own online shop. I can switch my brand, because that's literally all we're doing. And then it grows. As other people realize this is a genius business model that makes perfect logical sense. And then the benefits of scalability, which is uncapped, unlimited, the time leverage and the compound growth kick in. As those people are shopping, whether I'm with them or not, that's the genius bit. It's better to have one 1% effort from 100 people rather than 100% on your own. And this model is the exact opposite of trading your time for money. Because imagine if you were self-employed and you couldn't work for whatever reason, sick, holiday, whatever, you don't get paid. So that is literally trading your time for money. This is the complete opposite. So here's a slide with lots on it, but it shows the level benefits. So how people can become part of Arbonne at very many different levels. So you might want to become a consultant. You're still getting great value products, top quality ingredients for great value pricing because you're not paying the retail middleman. You're cutting out that retail middleman. You can use an Arbonne 10 code if you want to. Then the next option could be as a preferred client. You just pay £10 for a whole year, and some months it's free, for an annual membership to the 20% discount club. Basically, you get 20% off for a whole year, plus free gifts, free delivery. It's a really smart way of shopping. And then you can get further benefits from the Replenish Me subscription service. Then as a consultant. Now, I always thought, well, it makes sense to become a consultant, but obviously only become a consultant if you actually want to build it as a business. Otherwise, I would recommend becoming a preferred client. Excuse me. There are literally loads of benefits, including uncapped and unlimited income potential, cash awards at every level. You get a bigger discount. There's personal growth through being part of an inspiring community of positive, like-minded people. This literally is a people helping people business. And I love that fact. It's a chance to create an asset legacy, which you can will when you die. You get money towards a white Mercedes, which is the VP in rewards, and you get incentive trips. So, my goodness, that's just a few of the benefits. So the benefits are, there's just so many benefits. It's more you have to think, why would I not do that? Anyway, I hope it's clear that you can see how the products can change how we look and feel, and the business can change our lives. So, what is Arbonne? I've explained what Arbonne is. Okay, that's what it is. Can I do it? Yes, we recommend things all the time anyway. But this is a slide that I had to really take a close look. Is it worth my time? Because I had really, really limited time. So I had to take a real close look at the earnings potential. And then when I looked into it, I realized actually it really is. Not only is the income uncapped and unlimited, but you also, because it's an effort-based business, you get to decide what you get paid rather than have a boss decide for you. Because normally when you're working in any part of corporation, or even if you're self-employed, you're normally capped about what you can earn. And I love the fact it's uncapped and unlimited. It's an effort-based business. It's a very fair and ethical compensation plan because you can promote past the person who introduced you, and you can earn more than them too. And I love the fact that's so ethical. I've got people in my success line who have a bigger business than me and earning more than me. And I love that again, because it's what you want that matters. You decide on how big you want this. And I think that's what I love. There are only 4 levels to get to the top of Arbonne. But please see earnings.arbonne.com for the published averages. But with effort over time, you can go way above the averages if you choose, again, because it makes a difference as to what you want out of this. So I'm going to ask you some questions now. How much money would you like to earn in order to make a difference in your life? What would you do with that extra money? You may choose to earn anything from £50 a month to tens of thousands of pounds per month. It literally is all possible. And as I mentioned earlier, at VP level, you're also able to earn a VP Success Award, which can pay for any Mercedes, as long as it's white. So that's great marketing there. So every time you might see one driving past, you might wonder, oh, did Arbonne pay for that? Which is, again, really, really clever. If you lost your main source of income, how long would your savings last? And I know that's a real sobering question, but it always makes sense to have a plan B in place before you need a plan B. It always makes sense to think, actually, what if this could happen? So for me, my plan B has now turned into my plan A, and it can be for you too, as long as you decide to join the movement. And I love this slide because it shows how wide open we are, because Groupe Russia, as our parent company, is actually in 100 countries. So they've got the infrastructure in 100 countries. Arbonne, we are only in 6. So we've got that whole growth ahead of us. But the best thing is, even in the 6 countries we are in, which is Australia, New Zealand, America, Canada, Poland, and the UK, that's 500 million people we have access to. As long as we've got Wi-Fi, we've got access to all those people. So hands up, another hands up. Who would like to earn money whilst you're sleeping? This is literally what we have. This is a global online shopping network. So imagine I'm here in the UK. I've got people that are shopping in Australia and New Zealand, Canada and America. Whilst I'm asleep, guess what? The products are consumable. They run out, they go online, place their order. Arbonne say, oh, thank you, Maya, for recommending that person to go shopping. Genius, my business has grown whilst I'm sleeping. But aside from the fortune that can be made, the support you will receive is second to none. The fun and growth you'll experience along the way will exceed all expectations. And that's something that I was really more surprised about, because I've always been in corporate life. And yeah, you can have fun sometimes, but it's not quite the same because you always have to contain it because you've got a boss. And but here it's like everyone's so free, they're so happy, they're having such a nice time, and it's like they're all personally developed, and I love that. There's no dog eat dog. People actively want people to do well, as I mentioned before. This is about people helping people. So, I'm going to ask you, if you're not completely content with everything you have today, then why not take a leap of faith and join Arbonne? Literally, why not do it? That's what I thought. Literally could not see a downside. I'm so grateful. I really am that I said yes. And I've been open to learning the skills along the way to change my life, because I was, I did have doubts. I thought, well, I've never owned my own business before, but that's the best bit. It's your own business, but you're not on your own because you've always got people to help support, coach and mentor you along the way. So it's not you doing it on your own. And it was, almost I almost allowed my own fears to stop me from saying yes. But, when I truly understood this, I thought, you know what, this makes too much logical business sense. I have to say yes. And now my life, very different. Fast forward 16 years on, my husband and I are now empty nesters. I know, been a bit of a transition. And our children are now 21 and 19, and they're both away at uni. So it is a different chapter of life, but thank goodness I've got my Arbor business, A, to keep me sane, and B, we've both love to travel. Both my husband and I love to travel, and we can both work flexibly. So as long as we've got our smartphones with us, then we can run our businesses no matter where we are. That's really exciting. We don't have to ask our bosses for permission to have time off. Freedom, flexibility, travel, love it. Time passes anyway. You may as well use that time for positive change. And what would your ideal day look like if money and time are no object? Would you be doing what you're doing right now? If I could wave a magic wand and say, I'll give you all the money and all the time, what would you be doing? That's another question to make you stop and think, because time passes anyway, as I mentioned. So you want to think, what do I want to get from this business? You choose what you want from this. There is really nothing to lose and potentially so much to gain. So let your future self thank you for the positive choices you made today. Thank you for listening, and hope to meet you in person one day soon. Thanks, and bye for now.